Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It's time for the first look. Alicia's not here this week, but I'm trusting in Trevor, my man Trevor Hillstrom, the biggest Viking fan I know. What's up? How are you?
Pretty good. It's a good week.
Did you were really close last week, weren't you?
I was pretty close, yeah. It came down to if I could have got a touchdown from Walker, and if Kupp would have had Nakua's stats, that would have been pretty good.
Yeah, if I had wheels, I'd be a wagon. But,
yep.
We got to predict that a little better. I was looking great after the 1 o'clock games. I mean, I had Jackson, I had Andrews. I mean, it was looking good. And then the Mahomes-Kelsey thing. But you know what, Trevor? I had thought about doing a Kelsey-Andrews team. But then I don't like using 2 tight ends. But when you think about it, Andrews at $5,700 was better than almost any other receiver would have been at that same price. And I got to get out of that mindset that there's no right answer. It's like basketball. Any 5 guys who are good could play in the court at the same time.
Yeah, and those 2 were in the big money-making lineups.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
I know. All right, let's get to it. Let's talk about the Texans and Panthers. Texans coming off that bye week. Panthers really bad run defense. Dameon Pierce, the last we saw of him, I think he was on a milk carton somewhere because I didn't see him at all. Can we go back to him this week? Do we like CJ Stroud? Tank Dell's supposed to play. Nico Collins does well in even weeks, and this is week number 8. So do we like this game at all?
I think we got to go back with Dameon Pierce in some capacity. I mean, they got to get the kid involved in the game. I mean, he is explosive. It's just a matter. He's had some bad matchups, so I think with this matchup, his price point, we got to take a crack at him. Singletary did steal some carries from last time out, but I think they'll go back with Pierce here.
Do you feel like this is a game where Pierce gets 120 yards rushing but nothing receiving?
That could be it. He's going to catch a couple of balls. He usually gets 2 to 3 catches a game. So he's going to need to get in the end zone though to win a tournament. He's going to have to score.
I know it. Right. We're going to need that 100 yards. We're going to need that 3-point bonus. We're going to need a touchdown. Do you like Adam Thielen? Adam Thielen has shown pretty well. Is this a game where you're not in on Thielen?
I'm in on Thielen. I think he's proved that you got to kind of be on him every week. When I'm not on him, he's been great. So he's the go-to guy. I mean, there's really no other option there.
That's a good point. All right, Rams, Cowboys. Dak looked pretty good last game. The Rams are tough because it's condensed, but at the same time, the trust factor isn't there. I mean, I think Stafford's going to see a whole lot of Micah Parsons, but there's Kupp, there's Nakua. Darrell Henderson actually played pretty well. On the other side, Lamb has not done that much this year really to speak of. Pollard has really disappeared. But if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking here right now, Dallas is at a 26th spot. That's a big number, Trevor.
Yeah, you gotta play some Cowboys. I think I think Lamb, he got over 100 yards his last time out. He's got to get in the end zone. Pollard's in play. I like Ferguson, the tight end. He's a cheap option. He's good for 5-6 catches a game too. And the Rams aren't very good against the tight end.
I love Ferguson. May be my sneaky play of the week. I really do like him. I agree with you. All right, your Vikings against the Packers. I know you don't like O'Connell much, but LaFleur is terrible. They are not helping Jordan Love at all. They are not helping him at all. The play calling, it's almost like if you watch the first half Packers and the second half Packers, the first half Packers are the most frustratingly boring team. And then when they're down, they let them air it out a little bit, and they're much better in the second half. The Vikings better than anybody. Who do you think is to play here?
Well, it all depends. If Jared Alexander is playing for the Packers, I'm going to Osborne or Powell. I'm going to stay away from Addison. If Alexander's out, then I'm coming in with Addison. And of course, TJ Hawkinson should be fine. The running game, it's too muddled up there. No, they're neither one of those backs, Madison or Akers, I don't think is going to do enough to win a tournament. One might score, but Vikings haven't scored a rushing touchdown all year.
Now, what about Christian Watson, Aaron Jones? Aaron Jones was a monumental disappointment last week, but the Vikings' run defense has been respectable, really has been. I mean,
Jones is going to have to do it pass catching, I think. I think he's going to, he's good for 4 or 5 catches a game. He had 3 last week, I believe, but I think he can get up to 5 against the Vikings. Watson, I don't know if he's going to play. He's banged up. It looks like he's trending the right way. I told you before the season, I'm not on Watson. He hasn't faced one coverage, and he gets banged up. You don't know if he'll finish the game. I like Dobbs the most. As Musgrave looks like he's going to be out. So the one thing the bad thing about the Vikings winning Monday night is the expectation now is that they're just going to start playing better. Now that there's expectation, Monday night, no expectation. This game's a pick 'em. There's nobody outside of Wisconsin. I don't even think people in Wisconsin are going to bet the Packers in this game. Everybody's going to be in Minnesota, and that
which is why you bet the Packers.
Yeah, raises a big red flag for me. I hate to say it. The Vikings on paper should beat this team handedly.
They should, but I'm with you. Just when when it's too obvious, never play the too obvious there.
Right.
All right. The Saints and Colts. Here's another even game. They're both supposed to be a little under 22. But man, the Colts, if you look at Minshew's numbers, he only completed 15 passes last week for 305 yards. It was almost like they were broken plays. The Saints have a really good pass rush, but the Saints' problem is that their offense sputters. It literally sputters. But I do think Kamara can help you take down a tournament. But I don't know if anybody else in the Saints can. And on the other side, the Saints slot cornerback stinks. Does that put Josh Downs in play?
It does push Josh Downs in play, and I'm going to tell you about last week. It was pretty fluky for the Colts. Pittman got that big touchdown. There was 2 missed tackles at the 50-yard line. And the Josh Downs touchdown, I don't know if you saw that. There was a delayed offsides. Myles Garrett was way offsides. They didn't blow the whistle. Cleveland had stopped for a second, and Downs was gone. I don't know why they didn't blow the whistle, because Garrett could have put Minshew into a coma. So I like Downs because of his price, and they can put him in a lot of places to the middle of the field, and he can take advantage of that. Jonathan Taylor is getting more run there. I don't know if this is the game for him in here.
Interesting. The Saints' run defense is pretty good, though, but I do like Taylor a little bit.
ETN did score 2 touchdowns last week? Was it 2? Yeah. But he didn't have a very good yards per carry. He popped a couple, then he was caught behind the line of scrimmage a few times. And for the Saints, you love Kamara. Can Olave or Thomas do enough to win a tournament? I don't know.
It's funny when we talk about this stuff, like Aaron Jones just before. He's a good player, but you're not taking down a tournament. We've got this mindset. Who can help me take down a tournament? Kamara can. Derek Carr is the check down king of New Orleans.
I don't think he can throw the ball deep because of his arm. I think he's got that injury to his arm. I don't think he can throw it deep. That's why he's just taking it down. So
it's terrible. All right, Patriots Dolphins. I don't know if you saw the news conference today where I got the heebie-jeebies that Tyreek Hill may not be playing there. He's not 100%. Something like Tua is like, well, when he'll be back. And I'm thinking, when he'll be back, where's he going?
Right.
Does that make Waddle a must start? I kind of like the revenge narrative with Gesicki there. I mean, Miami has struggled against tight ends thus far this season. Mostert did nothing the other game. What's your thoughts?
I think that would make Waddle a must play. I mean, I don't see any way around it. The Patriots side, I guess you could go with Gesicki there, but I don't know. It's a game that I don't think is going to be that high scoring. I think I only want the Dolphins side. Well, I take that back. I do like Bourne. I mean,
he's been good.
He's been good, and he's kind of like their Thielen. He's the guy that they have to go to. If they want to stay in this game, they're going to have to go with him. Stevenson, Miami's defense isn't going to be very good until Jalen Ramsey comes back.
Right. They're not good at all.
So Stevenson, I like to see him catch 6-7 balls a game before I want to play him in a tournament. And it's just not. He got a good one on that game-winning drive last week, but it's just it's Bourne and nothing else for me on that side. And then it's going to be Waddle. If Hill plays, of course, you got to.
Play him for sure.
Mostert,
for sure.
I don't know if I like Mostert. I mean, is Wilson going to get more time?
Yes, I think Wilson gets more carries. So, I do.
But then again, Mostert could touch the ball 10 times and score twice and for 100 yards the way he goes. But I don't think that's going to happen here.
All right, we got the Subway Series with the Jets and Giants. I think this is Breece Hall time. I do. I think this is Breece Hall time. I don't hate Zach Wilson, but I hate Zach Wilson because I don't think he can throw for 250 yards. I like Garrett Wilson, but I don't see the Jets exploding here. But I do think Breece Hall could get 100 yards with no problem.
Right. The only thing that worries me about Hall is the Giants defense is playing better, and there's no reason to respect the pass game. They have no reason to respect the pass game at all. They can play 8-9-man box if they want. I don't think they're going to worry about Garrett Wilson. So that's the only thing that would reserve me with Hall. But I agree. You have to kind of if you're playing 3 lineups, you got to play him in 1, maybe 2. He does have that potential.
The Giants are letting up close to 5 yards a carry. 5 yards a carry. That's a lot.
It's been better though the last 2 weeks.
It has been better. It has been much better. It's a good point.
But like I said, with the Jets, they don't have to respect the passing game at all. But then again, they didn't respect it against Washington either. Right. When they clobbered their offense. So that's a weaker offense when it comes to the running game. But
all right, here's an interesting game: the Jaguars and Steelers. Do you know Kenny Pickett? I think is like $4,900.
In every week, the optimizers that I like to look at have him as the top play for price per dollar, and it never pans out. But I blame this more on their offensive coordinator because when they let him fly in the fourth quarter, when they needed to win last week or seal the game, they let him throw it, and he did very well. He was right on target. The thing is that Pittsburgh's so predictable. I think it really hurts all their offensive players because they're just so predictable. So
it's so funny you said that because I was thinking the exact same thing. In the fourth quarter, Pickett had a great comeback against a tough Rams team on the road. And now you think that the Steelers are going to have this big home win, and Matt Canada will probably draw up Najee Harris about 83 times. And then Pickett will throw, 16 for 24 for 205, and you won't take down a tournament. But the truth is, they should be a pass-first team. You've got Deontay, you've got Pickens, you've got Austin. Stop running the ball with this guy who stinks.
Right. It hurts that they don't have Pat Fry, but the Jacksonville side, Ridley's been a disappointment. Kirk is the number 1 there. I have to go with that. So I don't know what we can expect on that side of the ball.
Do you like ETN at all?
Well, yeah, I think you got to like him every week just about because no matter what the matchup is, he seems to produce. He wasn't supposed to do that great last week, and he gets 2 touchdowns.
That's true. All right, Falcons and Titans in a game that could be so disgusting that they don't even know if Will Levis or Malik Willis is the quarterback. Bijan, that was a whole debacle last week. Hide the dogs, hide the kids, hide everybody for this game.
Yeah, we were watching Baltimore and Detroit here because we didn't have the Vikings on, and when it got to 35-0, they switched it to Atlanta and Tampa. I'd rather have watched the 35-0 game than watch that. There's nothing I really like from that game. I could see Drake London having a game. Yeah. London pitched, but Tennessee's probably going to play well against the run. Levis is probably going to get the start, it sounds like. So do you think
Henry gets traded?
I don't know who would want to give up much for him at this
stage. If you're the Titans, do you trade him for a 4th-round pick?
I would, yeah. If I was the Titans, I would.
If you were Baltimore, you wouldn't give up a 4th-round pick for Derrick Henry?
Oh, I think you would if you're Baltimore.
Yeah. I think I would.
What do you think of Chigakonkwo? Is he just throwing money down the toilet?
Throwing money down the toilet. The problem is that I don't hate Levis, but as a rookie with a guy with a big arm, he's going to take dumb chances. Malik Willis is going to take no chances. That's the problem. So I think you have to see Levis because that Willis cannot win you a game in the NFL.
Atlanta's defense might be a play here.
Big play. I couldn't agree more. All right, let's talk about the Eagles and the Commanders. Man, I think I may be loving an Eagles double here, whether it's Hurts, Swift, Brown, Hurts, Brown, Smith. I think an Eagles double feels right.
Well, yeah, and Goddard. I mean, you got multiple ways to go. Washington gave up 272 yards to Tyrod Taylor last week. So, Hurts doesn't need to do much with his legs because I don't think the guy can run very good right now because if you watched him play, he was able to evade against Miami and keep plays alive. But when he was running, you could see him just a little bit slower than he is. So, but he could throw for 303 pretty easy in this game.
Yeah.
And he's going to get you 20, 30 yards rushing, even if he is running slow. And he can score in the push tush or whatever. And then I hope the Vikes never run that again. But
and the Giants who got two guys hurt during that one play.
I just don't.
Is Devonta Smith ever going to hit? Listen, one of the things I loved about you in baseball, you played the Tigers every day, and you said at one point they're going to break through. I'm going to win money, and they broke through, and you won. What was it? $15,000, $25,000. I feel like with Devonta Smith, 1 week, this dude is going to score 2 touchdowns.
I play him every week. He better because he's killing my seasonal teams. I've got him in 50% of my seasonal teams, and that's just, he's just killing me. But he's catching 6-7 balls. He's just not getting deep into his routes. They bomb it deep to AJ Brown. I'm sick of AJ Brown right now because I have no AJ Brown and I have all Smith. And then when you're playing DFS, you like to play Smith because he's the cheaper option, but he's not the better option, obviously.
Right, he's not the better option. He's not the guy that's winning a tournament.
No,
you might win a cash game, but you're not winning a tournament right now.
Right.
All right, Browns and Seahawks. Browns played good defense, but they let up a bunch of points. Myles Garrett was the best player I've seen in a long time, but that was a crazy game. Now you got to go on the road to the Pacific Northwest. I don't know how I feel about this game. I feel this is just going to be an ugly game, Trevor.
I'd go back and forth in this game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I really do. But the Browns defense should play a lot better than they did last week. I don't know if DK Metcalf's going to be back for Seattle. The Optimizers have Walker as their highest-rated running back for this week so far.
This week?
Yeah, against the Browns. And I'm in shock, and it's like they have him rated high, and I'm like, I don't see it. I just don't.
Not touching that.
No.
Have you seen him on the goal line? He can't get a touchdown.
Yeah, that killed me last week. It was 1st and goal at the 1, and they gave it to him twice, and he got stuffed both times. And it's like, I needed that 6 points bad.
I did too. All right, Ravens Cardinals here. Ravens expected for 26.5. The Cardinals defense is like a bend don't break. There's not a lot of pressure, but here's my problem this week. I don't think Lamar plays as well as he does.
The dog's driving me nuts. Okay.
I don't think Lamar has the week he had last week.
No.
I kind of feel like Gus Edwards or Justice Hill may do something. I don't really feel like the Ravens. I don't know if it's predictable this week.
No, they're not going to be predictable, but somebody's going to come out of this. Somebody on that offense is going to be up there. I don't know if it's going to be Flowers. Is it going to be Andrews? Is it going to be Lamar? To expect what he did last week is going to be a little too much for me. And I don't know.
Did you see, by the way, Kyler Murray's practicing in full?
What's that now?
Kyler Murray's practicing.
Is he going to start this week?
I didn't say that. I just said he's practicing in full.
Where do you think he will?
I think there's a chance. I think the Josh Dobbs experiment is done.
Oh, yeah.
I think Josh Dobbs is a fine backup. Don't get me wrong, but he's not a starter in this league. And you know what? Murray, you paid him a boatload of money. Let him play.
Right. I would let him play and see what kind of stock he has. So if you need to, you can maybe trade him. because I'm sure Arizona's going to draft a quarterback.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure.
Get his stock, see how good he is, and then maybe you can trade him.
Does your dog want to be on the telecast?
The dog is going nuts. She's a little Chihuahua, and she is all about this ball. And if I hide it somewhere, she's going to scream.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe she can give some good advice. Okay. How about the Chiefs and Broncos? This is one where, hello, friends. Kelsey, though, maybe Taylor Swift doesn't show up this week. Maybe this is a Pacheco, Rashee Rice week. Maybe this is everybody under the sun scores for the Chiefs week. What are you thinking?
The nice thing about the Chiefs is now it's more defined. You got Mahomes, Pacheco, Kelsey, and Rice. I mean, other parts might score, but those are the 4 guys you can really lock into. And, these guys just played each other, 3 weeks ago? And it was a lower scoring game. The Broncos were able to go up and down the field. They settled for field goals. Maybe this time they don't settle for field goals. I like the lower price tight ends, but every time I go away from Kelsey, it seems to burn me.
I won't play Kelsey this week. I won't play Kelsey. Too expensive. And you know what? I am buying the Taylor Swift narrative. I'm buying it.
When she's there, play him.
Play him. You know what? Everybody's looking. He's excited. Everybody's into it. And it's like, I'm buying in the narrative. I don't think she's showing up to the Mile High City to root for him. So I'm going to say that maybe he has 50 yards, 60 yards. I'm not playing him.
Right. So I like Rice and I like Pacheco. I really like Pacheco.
I love Pacheco this week. But it feels like he let people down last week. So there's one of two things. He screwed me and I don't want to play him. Or this is the best time to play him. He's going to score 2 touchdowns.
Sometimes you have to have amnesia with this stuff. You can't just, you get rid of one. You put a guy out, and when he's got a good matchup, you got to go with it.
All right, Bengals and 49ers. Good chance that Brock Purdy's out and Sam Darnold is in. Brock is in concussion protocol. I'm kind of liking Christian McCaffrey.
Oh yeah,
but am I paying for Christian McCaffrey?
If you're playing 3 lineups, you got to play him in one. He's the most dominating back in the game, fantasy back. You can usually count on him for, he's 20 points a week, isn't he? At least 20. And he's got that 30-point potential. Darnold, I had to pick him up in a seasonal league today just because. Do
you hate Sam Darnold? Can you start him?
I think you can. The Bengals aren't so bad in one spot defensively. They're kind of solid, but they can be scored on. And Debo is probably going to be back. I think you got Ayuk, you got Kittle.
I think that I don't know. Do you know Darnold's price?
4,400 I seen.
If that's the case, I may start him because I look at it this way. Are you telling me he can't throw a touchdown to McCaffrey? Are you telling me he can't get 200 yards and a touchdown? If he does, Trevor, he's at 14 points.
Right.
He'd override his calling for a Dax Hill interception, which, sure, may happen, but I still think that the 49ers win this week.
Oh, I do too. I mean,
do you like T. Higgins? Do you like Jamar Chase?
I like him I like Chase if Burrow can get some time back there. I mean, that's what he needs. He needs time. And Darnold's 4,300.
All right.
I mean, you can put in you can stack, you can put your Eagles stack, and you can put Kelsey in there with that price.
I think so. And I'm getting more interested by the second. All right, so give me the stack that you're playing this week. Who's the stack?
It's going to be Philadelphia against Washington. I mean, that's going to be the stack that I concentrate on the most. But I think you got to have one of those top quarterbacks other than Darnold. I think with Darnold you could get you there, but I think that those top 3, Lamar, Hurts, Mahomes, one of them is going to pop off and have that 30-point ceiling game.
I think I'm with you on the Eagles stack. I think that's important. I don't want to do the Mahomes stack. Because I don't want to stack him with Kelsey. But I'm trying to see what other game here. I don't dislike the Texans, but you know who I might stack, Trevor? I might stack the Cowboys maybe I go with like Dak, Pollard, Lamb, or Dak, Lamb, Ferguson.
Yeah.
And figure it out.
Right. You can do it that way. Yeah, there's no doubt. I like Dallas. You said their implied total was up to what, 26 or 20?
Yeah, it's a big number.
That's that's 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals or 4 touchdowns. So, somebody's going to score. I really like Lamb. I think Lamb's going to have a good game. I'm starting to have that gut feeling. It's kind of early in the week. Come about Friday, I start having these things gravitate towards me, and I think Lamb is starting to gravitate towards me now that more and more I talk about him, because he's complaining about not being more involved in the offense. And when they do that, it seems like they get involved, except for Devonta Adams last week. He got 5 catches in the first quarter and then nothing afterwards.
Now, he just said this, and I agree with him. I just said it before. I think that Panthers Texans game, if there's one crappy game that I think that could go up, I think it's this game, because Stroud has been really good.
Oh, yeah.
Nico could go off at any point. And if we like Dameon Pierce to get 100 yards, we can find something.
Thielen coming back. Thielen's going to catch 7-8 balls. I can't imagine he won't.
Right. I mean, do you like Chark in this game? Do you like? I don't like Miles Sanders.
Every time I like Chark, and I know we just talked about you can't pin a guy for busting, but Chark's never been that great anyway, so I can't go with Chark. I can't go with Sanders. Is Chuba Hubbard going to play? I just can't go with that. The Texans, I think, are a lot better than people think. I like Dell. I like Collins somewhat, but I really like Pierce. Pierce has to get. If he don't do it this week, I'm never playing him again.
Well, look, I think if I have 3 lineups, Trevor, right, I could see me doing Pierce in one, and then maybe the passing game in another.
Yeah,
Stroud and Collins and Dell type of thing.
Yeah, with Thielen coming back.
Yeah, I could see it. I just don't know whether it hits a home run. But that's the thing, is I'm trying to hit. I don't want to hit a single, dude. I don't want to make $8. I don't want to make $22. I want to win $22,000.
Yeah, well, my guy is going to be KJ Osborne for that. I mean, that's the guy I'm going to be playing in a lot of my lineups are going to be KJ. I just think he did really well there last year. I think Jared's going to be back on Addison. They're going to hit Osborne quite a bit this time.
All right, so the trust in Trevor pick is at KJ Osborne. My visionary pick as of this moment, and this of course may change, I think it's Deontay Johnson. Jacksonville has not been a great secondary. Really hasn't been a great secondary. So I feel like Pickett will have to throw a little bit, because Jacksonville's been very good at stopping the run. Deontay looked good last week. Now he's another week in.
No.
Maybe this is one of those Deontay 8 for 95 games.
And by the fourth quarter last week, he looked like his normal self. He looked a little sluggish at the beginning, then about third, fourth quarter, he started looking good. We just have to hope that offensive coordinator gets in the football.
Don't even discuss it. You're making me angry. All right. What's your dog's name?
Sasha.
All right. For Doc, Trevor, and Sasha, we say be well and take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.